Hello all and welcome. I'm doing the holiday book tag / ultimate holiday reading guide. I've seen these videos a few times, but specifically I saw Juzzy Reads do this on her channel and I just really love the questions that she had. I'm borrowing from that video a lot. I also came up with some of my own as well. Let's get into it. And I think my dog, Winston is going to be joining us today. So this is Winston. He's just happy that I have the Minky blanket out. The first question is fictional family that you would spend Christmas dinner with. This is definitely a basic pick, but I have always just wanted to be completely transported right into A Court of Frost and Starlight. It is them celebrating winter solstice. So they're like getting drunk, they're drunkenly decorating the house, they're exchanging gifts, and there's the perfect dose of like familial drama. Like it feels so real because there is drama, there is tea, and it's like, ooh, is this person showing up? Like we don't know. So it's so fun. It also is just one of those perfect novellas that it's not necessary for reading the series. Like if you skip it, you're not really gonna miss out on much, but also it's a perfect just like add to everything. It adds like this fun lore. It just feels like fan fiction. It goes down smooth. And it just seems like the funnest holiday ever. Like they have the best time in the night court. It's also Feyre's birthday, but it's her birthday too. So like it's extra special for her. Like it's just the happiest, coziest book. Next question is book that you would give as a gift. And this is kind of a hot take, but I actually don't love to gift books as gifts. What did I just say? I don't like to give books as gifts because especially if you give it to someone who's not a reader, it feels like you're just giving someone a chore. Like I don't think people really love getting a book as a gift, especially when you're like, oh, this is my favorite book, please read it. And they're just like, oh, like something I have to do. I would gift this series only to my friends who I know are readers and I know would appreciate it. I would gift them the Chestnut Springs box set. I read Chestnut Springs for the first time around this time of year. Like I was reading them through Christmas and Christmas break and everything. They just go down so smooth. Like it is so perfect for capturing that vibe. The setting in Chestnut Springs is described as like straight out of Yellowstone, the TV show. And they live in these like beautiful mountain homes. Some of the books take place in the wintertime too. Like I know at least one of them there is like Christmas happening and like New Year's. They're just perfect, cozy, get you through like the hard times books. They're a really good series that doesn't need to be read all at once because it's not really like a connecting storyline. So they're really fun like palate cleansers, like you could read one a month or something. My friends and I have been doing kind of like our unofficial book club has been the Chestnut Springs series for the last like year. Like every like 2 months we'll just read one of the books. I'm rereading them. And I just will tell you, like, no one is having a bad time. Even if you have things that you dislike about it, it's still one of those series that's like fun to talk about your problems. And even if you have problems with the books at the end of the day, you're like, precious. Like, it's so cute. This question is books that you would gift your younger self. I read the Caraval series, I think a couple years ago for the first time. And I just was so taken by how adorable that series is. I love fantasy and I love YA fantasy. And what I love about Caraval is that it is so whimsy. Never have I ever read a whimsier series because when I was reading it, I was kind of picturing like Candyland and Strawberry Shortcake and like the Barbie, all the princess movies, but like Barbie, Rapunzel, like any of those things. These books have that vibe, are very atmospheric. The way she writes them is just like, she describes everything like it's candy, like the mountains. I feel like she says something about it being like dollops of frosting, the snow that's like on the water. Everything about it is just so magical and so sweet. So it's like a very cute romance. Like it's a perfect romance for that age if you're like 6th grade. And I would also say the Cruel Prince series too. It took me a minute to get into the Cruel Prince series, but I kind of feel like Cruel Prince is a lot like what I'm talking about. The two series are not similar, but I do think Cruel Prince has the same kind of like whimsy that I'm talking about. Like for example, one of the characters travels via giant toad and the other people are on horses that are like blue, or the horse's fur looks like lace, like just things like that. The fairies are very like, I mean, they're not giving like fae, they're definitely giving like fairy. They're like non-human looking, like salamander looking. It's a perfect love story where the romance is really sweet, but it's not smutty. Doesn't overtake it. Like it's just really adorable. I just think that fantasy at this time of year is so great. So if I had a reader teenager or like preteen that I was gifting to, I would gift those two series to them. Next question is a book series that you revisit each year. And so I know this is not a Christmas book series, but I usually every like Halloween autumn like to reread the Devil's Night series. What I love so much about the Devil's Night series is that it really only has the setting of Halloween. They're not overly Halloween books. You just know that there's that like chill in the autumn air. And Devil's Night itself is actually the night before Halloween. So it's just like a great way to kick off the whole season. And they're in New England, so the way everything is described, like it just feels so like misty and smoky and like creepy. I love it. The last book in the Devil's Night series is a novella called Fire Night, and it's also like a Christmas story, and it's dark romance, and of course like they don't do Christmas in the normal way at all, so it's like this gorgeous ball that they have where they only light the house with fire, so everything is like real candles in the chandelier, like candelabras everywhere, like it's just so moody and good. So if you start reading it like around Halloween time or before, and then you finish like right at the start of Christmas, or either like save that one for Christmas, it's kind of like a perfect holidays reading experience. I love it so much. Next question is a book that you could give to everyone. This one is similar to the gifting question, but actually this is why I think this is different, is I wouldn't want to gift this book to everyone I know, but I would love to just be able to sneak this book onto everyone's shelves. You know when you have a book on your shelf and you are like meaning to read it, and then one day you just pick it up and it's like it was the exact right time. It just was always sitting there and available to you, and then the second you picked it up you were like, I should have read this so much sooner, but really not. It's the perfect time. You know what I mean. It's so kismet. That book for me is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It seriously changed my life, and I think about it every single day. It's one of those rare books that I've recommended to so many different kinds of people, and every single one of them has found it relatable and like so touching. One of those books that's about literally everything. I have like tattoo ideas for this book. Like it just means the world to me and more. So while I wouldn't want to necessarily like wrap it up and gift it to people and have them like open it and then have to read it, I just wish that everyone had this on their shelf or on their TBR at least, because trust me, like you need to F around and find out when it comes to Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Next question is a book that made you feel cold. I like this because this book didn't leave me feeling cold, but it feels cold and frigid in like a holiday way. Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is the perfect gothic winter romance. It's freezing there. It's England. I'm like not sure when Charles Dickens is, but I'm like, why do I want to say it's like the same time period? Is it? If it's not, it's very close, okay? But just think in that whole vein, in that whole vibe. Wuthering Heights is like a ghost story. It's so creepy. It's so twisted and demented. I actually read Wuthering Heights in the summer, but I got lucky because it was a really crazy rainstorm, and I was actually binge reading it the day of the rainstorm and like looking out the window, and it was just gray skies and it was cloudy and everything, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. But I feel like it would be the same for the winter. Like if it's like a snowy day or just like horrible weather, or you're like in a cabin or something for the holidays, I feel like Wuthering Heights would be the perfect read for that. And it does feel frigid and it does feel cold in the best way, in a like you need to be sitting by a fireplace way. I love it. And then the next question is a sweet and satisfying book. This one I would say One for My Enemy, keeping with like the wintry fantasy vibe. One for My Enemy, I want to say it takes place in New York. And it is also wintertime, like they're outside in their coats, so it's perfect for the vibes. It's a love story of 3 sisters and 3 brothers, and they're competing apothecaries, and they are both witches, like all of them have magic. It's one of those perfect, it's a standalone fantasy, which, you know, is not super common, but it's a really good standalone. It's like very well baked in that the magic system and the lore and everything is simple enough that it can be contained to one book, but not too simple that you feel like it's stupid. Like it's actually still really good and really fun. Also Russian, which I just adore. I loved it so much. Also kind of had that like cutesy YA feel to it too, but a little bit, I would say it's a little bit darker. Like it's definitely not as like fun and whimsy. It's more of like a dark and like witchy, so it's a really good Christmas read. It's a sweet and satisfying read for sure. Next book is a book with a holiday theme / vibe, and another one that will just go down so easy, go down so smooth, perfect for this, is Icebreaker. And let me just say, I have hated every single other book in this series, but the first book, Icebreaker, I've read 3 times now. I really, really like this book. It's a classic hockey romance, but he's a hockey player and she's actually a figure skater. And so I like that they have that in common. And like, obviously hockey and skating like that just makes you think of winter and like think of the holiday time. But this book actually does take place over the holidays. Like that's kind of where the meat of the story happens. And this is another book that I did read over Christmas break. I was listening to it on a road trip and it was the best. Like it got me through the holidays so perfectly. Icebreaker is spicy, like very spicy, but also very sweet and very cozy. They also, this is not spoiler, but there is a scene, or like, I guess a part of the book that takes place over Christmas at this gorgeous mountain cabin home in Colorado that has a pond that they can skate on in snow. Like it quite literally is such a perfect holiday Christmas read without being like overly that, you know, it's not advertised as like a Christmas book, but there's Christmas is a big part of it. So I do think it's like perfect for this time of year. And I'm always itching to read it around this time. Don't knock it till you try it. I didn't say read the rest of them. Okay, I think the rest of them have been trash, but that first one really worked for me. I love a hockey romance and a hockey romance that's like cozy. Oh. Next question is characters who would be good Christmas elves. I'm a little bit limited to the books that I've read this year. I'm only using books that I've read this year for this whole tag. But this is also just like such a funny and fun question. I kind of just take this as like the lovable kind of like side characters. And to me, they're all guys. Like I can't think of any female characters that I read about that would be good Christmas elves. But I would say William Grayson III from the Devil's Night series. Will is always everybody's like happy guy. He makes everything light. He's like the good in everything. Nothing is too serious with him. But like, for example, Will is described as the guy who will get on top of the lunch table and then like dance to 80s bangers in front of everyone. Will also is just like always smiling, always happy, and kind of just like really friendly with everyone. He's very different from his other friends. So William Grayson, I think would be a perfect elf. I think he would kill that role. I would also say Therian Ketos. He is from Crescent City. He is a redheaded mermaid jock who kind of same thing. He is just a flirt and a tease and a really good time. He's like the ultimate like frat friend and like just a guy that you just like, he's a good time guy. He's so much fun. And he's a mermaid. I don't know if I said that, but for some reason that is giving elf to me. Like that's making him have an elf-like quality that I can't explain, but you know what I'm talking about. And then I'd of course say Cassian. Cassian like hands down has an elf vibe. When I was talking about A Court of Frost and Starlight before, he's one of the ones that is drunkenly decorating. Just the funnest guy ever, the happiest guy, so sweet, so fun, and would be silly and like dress up as a little elf and do the whole part. And he kind of honestly is Rhysand's elf a lot of the time. So he would be a perfect elf. Next question is characters who made the naughty list. And this one I really poured over all the books that I read. It was a really hard choice, but I think hands down it has to be Mason and Dallas Yeager from Five Brothers. Also, like, is now a good time to talk about Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas. So if you're not familiar with Penelope Douglas and her world or anything, like the girl has a type. She has this one book called Credence where the main character, the female main character is, even just saying it's insane. Her parents die and she has to go live with her distant uncle who is not an uncle by blood but by marriage, and his sons who are like her cousins, again, not by blood but by marriage, and she becomes romantically involved with all 3 of them. That book was really crazy. I did give that book 4 stars and I have reread it several times. She really outdid herself because she was like, okay, I gave you 2 brothers. What if I gave you 5 brothers? Five Brothers is also a spinoff of a different book that I actually never read, which I should have because I was not understanding what was going on a lot of the times. Basically, it's one female main character juggling these 5 brothers, which is too many brothers if you ask me, like far too many brothers. And they all have ridiculous names if I can remember them. So the oldest is Mason and it's spelled M-A-C-O-N. And then I believe it goes Army, Iron, Dallas, Trace. I think it's Trace. Ridiculous names. Oh, and the main character's name is Chris Jen. Anyway, Mason is the oldest brother and I don't want to spoil, but he is insane. He is like such a dark horse character, but like not in a good way. But definitely made the naughty list. Like he does some of the craziest things. Like there's this one particular scene in the book that I have never seen. Like it's rare when you come across like a spicy scene where you're like, huh, I've never thought of that. That happened in Five Brothers. And I was like, what? that didn't even like mechanically make sense. Also Dallas, I guess Dallas is more the dark horse because he is like almost certified sociopath. He's just crazy and honestly didn't really need to be there. Like she kind of split a character in two because both of them don't have enough substance to be like their own characters. I feel like Mason and Dallas could have just been one singular character, but she really needed to have 5 brothers. And really, like, it could have been 2 brothers, if I'm being honest. There was 3 too many brothers in this story. Of all of the dark romances, of everything else that I read this year, I think these 2 stand out as the definite naughty list characters for me. And the last question is a book that would be a perfect holiday movie. And I said Wildcard by Elsie Silver. Wildcard, I think, is the 4th book in the Rose Hill series. Wildcard is just basically a Hallmark movie without the Christmas. If it had that Christmas time and the Christmas setting behind it, it would be absolutely perfect. It's a girl who is like a traveler, hippie girl who really needs to have a home base and some roots, and she needs to get settled down. And then this brooding hometown hero guy who really just needs someone to make him feel young again, someone to like shake things up for him. So their dynamic is so perfect and so well suited. And the Rose Hill community, it's this like small town in Canada. It's just adorable. Like his property, the way it's described, like it's just so picturesque and perfect. Much like the Chestnut Springs series, but this is just a different part of Canada. And I actually don't know geographically what makes it different because they kind of seem to have all the same. I kind of picture them the exact same in my head, if I'm being honest. It's a perfect Hallmark movie that is just begging to be made. I would love to see, I think actually Chestnut Springs is getting a TV series, which is great. Like it needs to, as it should. That was my holiday book tag, and that was all of the holiday reading and holiday suggestions that I have. I just thought this was so fun because while a lot of these books didn't make my like least favorites or favorites, I still just like, I love talking about all the books that I read this year, and I read so many good ones. Even if they weren't my 5 stars, like there were some bangers in there. So I love a chance to talk about them in any way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Can you say happy holidays, Winston? Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.